Hello and welcome to the Greater Statesville Chamber of Commerce 2024 Candidate Podcast. I'm William Morgan, and this is where we have an opportunity to interview candidates that are running for local, state, and federal offices. And I'm pleased to be joined now with Gene Houpe, who's an incumbent county commissioner and is running for re-election. Welcome, Gene.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Tell us a little bit about Gene.
Gene Houpe, lifelong resident of Iredell County, except when I played college football at Florida State. And I'm one of 7 kids to Frank and Gaynell Houpe, we've all been local our entire life. Went to Florida State, come back when law enforcement, retired law enforcement. I'm married to Dr. Tanya Houpe, who's the principal at Iredell Statesville School System, and we have 5 wonderful kids. I'm a small business owner, retired law enforcement, so I try to think outside the box in my tenure as a county commissioner. And I'm in my 4th term, seeking my 5th term, and got to serve with you over the years and from your capacities also. But I just try to help the people, and I'm a local boy and blue-collar guy, just trying to do the best we can by the people.
Sure. So 5 terms, you're experienced.
Yeah.
Why you want to do it again? What's motivating you now?
Well, I think unfinished business, maybe. You know, we have a top-ranked county in the state, as you know, and we're a top 2 county in economic development, a top 2 state in the country in economic development. We're a top 10 county in almost every category. So if you're not growing, you're dying, as you know. And so I think that I want to see a lot of things finished that we started over the years. I've served with some great board members before me in my tenure. And I think that's what makes us successful is from the local level to the state and federal, you have a lot of the same network, as I say, a network from the local level to Washington, that we can help our citizenry. And I think that's what it's all about, working for the people. Politics has become so negative over the last several years. You know, there's a lot of people that just will not get in it, and that's hurting us because there's a lot of people that bring good ideas and smart ideas and expertise to the table that will not participate based on the things their family and they have to go through. And that's unfortunate.
Sure. I used to kid you when I was on the other side of Center Street that, you know, what do you guys do on a county commission? I mean, you're not building roads like we are. You don't have infrastructure.
Right.
You're not picking up garbage.
That's right.
No water, no sewer.
Right.
So what's the most important role of a county commissioner?
Well, the big role, we have 26 county departments that we are responsible for, and the manager runs that day to day and with her staff. We help fund 19 volunteer fire departments, 3 rescue squads. Our biggest expenditure, 50% of our budget annually, goes to schools. What we have in Iredell County is we have 3 school entities we help fund, and there's not many other counties that have that. I think there's less than 5 in the state. And with the capital funding, along with everything else, that eats up about 50% of our annual revenue. And so we have to fund all of the other things that I mentioned out of the remaining 50%. And so I'm proud that we've been able to do that. You know, we had an unprecedented reval last year based on the market values, and, you know, a lot of people don't really understand that process. And the county commissioners don't control the market value. You know, there's over 750 neighborhoods in the county that, you know, they use the comps from. But we historically lowered the tax rate down almost 4 cents to give as much relief as we could, William, and without jeopardizing our ability to take care of our responsibilities and obligations. But school capital is our biggest and most important mandated function that we have to deal with. You know, as you know, on city council, when the municipalities approve residential growth and things, you know, we're mandated to build those schools. And so what we've got to make sure, working with our school systems, is we've got to make sure, one, the sites are right for this construction, and we've got to make sure that the school systems are ready to hit the ground running if a bond passes for the citizenry. And that will save all of us a lot of frustration and headaches, you know. And so I tell people all the time, you know, my biggest thing is before you judge our actions, at least ask us our options. And you being an elected official in the past, you know, we don't always have the best options. And so we try to avoid the unfunded mandates coming down to us on the local level from the state or the federal government. And so I'm on the NCACC Board of Directors, North Carolina Association of County Commissioners, and I serve on a lot of other boards like you did, COG and others. And Airport Commission, that you know is of vital importance, that y'all have always supported, and we've supported with you guys for our county and our region. And so I represent 8 counties in the state in District 12. And I'm elected to that position for a 3rd term, which is first time ever, by my colleagues in those 7 other counties. So that gives us a regional voice, and it gives me a voice on the state and the NACO level for the national level, you know, working with our North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. So as you know, it's about a region. If you're successful in Statesville and Mooresville and Troutman and Harmony and Love Valley, all those things, we all are successful. So where we're trying to change the outlook on things, working now, is advocating for state and federal grants on the local level. You do infrastructure, we don't. However, if we can jointly apply for things like we do at the schools, that benefits the county as much as it benefits you in reality, directly or indirectly. And so we just have to continue working with each other as a team on behalf of the citizens of the county. We're not going to always agree 100% of the time with each other because we're sitting in different seats. But what I bring to the table, I hope, is an attitude of teamwork that, we're doing the right thing for our citizens. Our jobs, all of our elected jobs, is to make the lives of the citizens better all the time if possible. And so I pride myself in transparency. Our meetings are open. Every good conservative ought to have the same platform. You see a lot of the talking points in elections, lower taxes, support emergency services, all those things. Guess what? We're doing that. We've been doing that for years. And so that's why I think, as an incumbent, we had a forum last night and people asked, what makes you the best candidate? I said, that's up to you. I've worked hard for you and I've done what I said I would do. I've been a good steward of taxpayer dollars. I've helped navigate the county through bad economic times into better economic times. And so I think experience matters. When you go get surgery, you want the most experienced doctor or you want the one fresh out of school. Both are qualified. But I think experience matters. Your rankings in politics a lot of times is based on your tenure and sometimes, your fundraising on other ways. But, you've been there. It's just, I wish our citizenry had time to be more involved. They're busy, but they can go watch our meetings at their leisure off our website. They can read the minutes of every meeting. And so I wish the meeting room, we had a great crowd last night. We had a forum weeks ago that the GOP clubs and all sponsored, had a great turnout. But as a politician in the past, in your tenure, you go to forums sometimes and you have more candidates and their families there than citizens. But there's a lot of citizens that don't understand our processes and our options. And I think we've got to do a better job of engaging them and trying to get them on the same level and page we are. I think that is important. People just do not realize, in most cases, what I do as a county commissioner and what I'm responsible for. Like you said, I don't do roads, I don't do infrastructure. Capital schools is our biggest thing. We've told a lot of people no over the years to be able to say yes to the things we need to do. And so I think good, sound business practices, leadership, I think that matters to the people. That's what I think I bring to the table with my colleagues. I'm the senior commissioner now on the board we have now. I've served with some wonderful people. I've served with boards, people like you on the town boards and city boards. And so it's a teamwork. And I pride myself in being transparent, being available to my constituents. And I think that's important. You know great people like Virginia Fox and others in Raleigh and Washington that when you reach out, they try to help our constituents. They're available. Sure. They don't forget about us when they got there. Yep. And some people do that.
Iredell County has come into its own, and we knew it was going to happen.
Right.
But if you look at the county, we've essentially got two counties. We've got north of I-40 and south of I-40.
Right.
And economic development, near and dear to my heart.
Right.
It's increasing here, but so is the housing.
Right.
But at the same time, we're a top county in agriculture in the state.
Absolutely.
How do you balance that? Well, we don't want our farmlands to go away.
Well, that's what I think. As a county, we have the preservation of the farmers. We can help advocate on the state level for the cap rate to go up, which helps them pay less property taxes. But what we've got to do more proactively on the county level and the state level is to protect the farms. Try to give them incentivize them putting their farmland in preservation, some type of preservation to keep it as a farmland. And we did our 2045 recently, and we tried to make sure we protected the business and industry corridors, because you always want that to outpace your residential growth, as you said, and allow the infrastructure to be ahead or catch up. But I said last night, in Iredell County, agriculture is a $625 million impact annually. The state of North Carolina is $2.1 billion impact. People moving to Iredell County from outside the state don't realize how big agriculture is in Iredell County and the region and the state. They're amazed by the agriculture impact that we have, because when you tell them that, we have a top 5 ranking, top 3 ranking in almost every category for the agriculture. And that's amazing. That's a great attribute to our farmers. But we're losing farms every day. We're losing farmers every day. We as a government and a people have to figure out the importance of preserving their land, helping the farmers as much as we can, making sure there's a workforce out there for them, you know. And so those are the type things that keep me awake at night, is because for us to continue being a top economic county and a top economic state, the school systems, you know, do a great job training our workforce. If we stop being able to provide a trained workforce for the business and industry, you know what happens. You stop growing. And that's when the people that have higher taxes around us, they're raising taxes to pay for the county services and all those things. And as long as you have great growth, you have great sales tax. Interstates are a tremendous asset. The airport, as you know, people don't realize the impacts and importance that is to our county and our region. You know, in Iredell County, the sales tax off of over 50% of the sales tax is paid by people traveling up and down 40 and 77. That's why I've always said that the sales tax is the fairest tax. Only about 70% of the citizens in the county own real property. So, you know, we tried to do a sales tax referendum in 18. 1/4 cent at that time would have produced over $7 million annually at that time in 18. And we were going to use that for emergency services in schools, okay? And it failed because it was just a new tax. And a lot of people, I think, didn't understand what we were going to use it for at the time. But that 1/4 cent in 18 would have been equivalent to at least 3 cents on the tax rate. Right? So, and it's a more fair tax. And so you've got some people that are intentionally misleading the public in some areas for political gains, you know, trying to advocate, oh, you supported tax increases, you've done all these things. I've never voted for a tax increase that was not voter approved. You know, you put the bonds out for the people, you tell them the needs of what you need. We've never gone to the people without making sure there's no other options to pay for it. You know, in 20, we needed a penny of new money because, you know, to pay the debt service on the 120 bond at that time would have been about $12 million annually. But, you know, with the school systems have no control over the cost of construction materials. However, there is a control over the timing. We need to make sure in the future we're hitting the ground running when the bonds pass. And, you know, with the delays and things, the interest rate, whenever we do move forward, is going to hurt us. We just approved the other night up to another 40 on top of the 80 for 120. So we've put some of the county projects on hold until we get our final numbers back for our mandated expenditure, which is the school capital. They're already in the plans for another elementary school out of states because of the growth. And so, you know, our job is to make the decisions of the options we have and work with the other boards and make sure the citizenry understand what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Sure.
And we have an awful lot to be proud of in Iredell County. Our region is growing tremendously. Some people, you know, may not want it to change much. You know, there's a lot of people moving here from up north, you know, and they come here and say, well, you know, in North Carolina, you know, we can't do impact fees. That would be very helpful if we could do impact fees to help with the infrastructure, you know, with the development. And people are like, y'all can't do that here? And I'm like, no, it's illegal. It's in the Constitution. So if we could ever develop that, I don't particularly like ETJs. You guys on the city boards need it. But we've been able to work together in the past, identifying these areas and try to make sure the business and industry outpaces the residential growth.
Sure.
And you as a business guy, financial guy, you understand all those things. Well, a lot of the citizens don't understand it. You know, it's more complex than you can get into in a 5-second walk by. Please vote for Gene Houpe for county commissioner, right?
Well, and that leads me to the last question: is why vote for Gene Houpe for county commissioner?
Well, I hope they've trusted me for my experience and leadership in 4 terms, and I hope my experience matters. You know, I've always told the public the truth. I've always been a good steward of their tax dollars. We always tell them the who, when, whys, and wheres of what we need and why we need it, and how much it's going to cost. We always exhaust all efforts to make sure that we're making the best decision of the options we have. On county commission, what I'm proud of is it takes at least 3 of us to make something happen. And on our boards, in my tenure, going hopefully into a 5th term, is that we voted unanimously almost 100% of the time on every major issue because it was the best option of the options we had, right? So, you know, a lot of people out there throw out a lot of nonsense, you know, for the political arena, you know, talking about, like I said before, the low taxes and cut out wasting government, all these things. We've done that, but you've got to have top quality employees in our 26 county departments. Our emergency services are phenomenal, but we've upped our pay for all emergency services, all of our staffing. As a business owner as well, with you and working with the city, if you want top tier people in your law enforcement, emergency services, and every other position, you've got to pay for it. You're competing with the private sector. But, in our biggest liability issues, law enforcement, the jail, EMS, all of those things, you want the top quality people, and you've got to recruit and retain those people. And it's not that, but those are mandated functions you have to have. Right now, we're over 20 EMS people low because we're wearing them out. We have such a growing county. We've got to figure out a way to get those people some help. So our first responders are stepping up. We've got to get people hired. We started our apprentice programs. Sheriff's office, other county offices, the manager has really worked with our staff to get the apprentice programs up so we can have our own academies and training. We've got to turn people out working with our colleges as well.
Sure.
But that's the biggest things that keep me awake at night is making sure we're doing what's right for the citizens. It concerns me the direction of the country, the tone of the country, having an unprotected border. What's hurting all of us right now, I'm on the health board for the county commissioners, is the fentanyl, the overdoses. This country's in trouble.
Sure.
You've got to secure your borders and you've got to make good decisions. You've got most of these things that we deal with. If you put America first, it's like in your business, you put your business first, your family first, but that should be nonpartisan. We have over 200,000 people in Iredell County. When they call me, Gene Houpe, I need your help for something, I don't say, did you vote for me? Are you Republican or Democrat? Because I represent everybody.
Sure.
And I hope that's why people can vote for Gene Houpe.
Well, we appreciate your service.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate your willingness to continue to serve.
Yeah.
And we wish you well in the primary.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
God bless you, and God bless America. And I hope that we can continue to move forward and make the county better. That's our job.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it.